I think like mostly tied to this experience on Welcome to the Rileys, but I've gone back. I just shot on the road there, and every time I go back, it's like I don't know.
Feel like you're at home or something?
Yeah.
They look on Google Images. That was one of the funniest scenes I've ever had to do in my life. It's like, really? We're all like 300-year-old geniuses, and we just go, it's like, vampire baby, like, on Google Images. And yeah, that was our research into it. It's like, I can't find anything! Like, I didn't look past the first page. Like,
a movie called Adventureland.
Okay.
Greg Mottola, who directed Superbad. It's his second movie. It's not like a broad comedy. It is funny at times, but it's really sweet. It's more of like a drama.
The dress was tight. It was so tight. I really liked it. It was very pretty. It was a huge deal keeping this thing shrouded. I was wearing a Volturi cape most of the time, and I hated it. You know, you want to feel pretty on your wedding day, and every single time they call cut, someone comes and like attacks you with a Volturi cape. And you're like, where am I?
I don't know. That's tough. I'm not sure, because even like with my job, I enjoy how hard it is. Like I love sort of killing myself. I love the pressure.
I did not make it up. Like, I don't understand why she's saying it. It was a real priest, but I made a little joke saying that we got married because he couldn't remember our names. He couldn't remember our names, but he was a real priest, and he's also someone's. He was someone's dad who. Oh no, that's the character. Maybe I'm mixing the whole thing up. Yeah, no, it was fun. It was a really fun scene to shoot. I like Bill didn't shy away from just making it this the pure like fantasy, like girls' fantasy wedding. It was really pretty. I mean, you couldn't really have a prettier wedding. But no, it was great to shoot. And we had all the old cast from the first one and stuff.
If you were to look like anyone, Jodie would be a great thing to look like because she's pretty, but she's like a great, outstanding actress, and to look like her, it's...
Yeah, we kind of finalized for a series about abstinence. We get married, we have sex, we have a kid. Right. I mean, it all just throws everything out the window.
Now, yeah, sure. I mean, like, I love, those are like my favorite parts of the book. Is like how great he is. I mean, I know everyone says this, but it's like how great he is to her or whatever.
You know. Yeah, I mean, it was kind of a little bit nerve-wracking, just knowing, you know, normally in sex, you know, people don't really have any expectations. We sort of just have but with this, knowing that there's 126 million books sold, and the sex scene is not described in the book, it's a fade to black in the book. So kind of everybody's imagined it who's watched it.
We shoot for 6 or 7 months. We start shooting in November, and then we don't finish until May or something.
Yeah.
I know they sent me the book a long time before I did the audition, so they must have been casting for quite a while.
I totally understand the fanaticism thing. I've recently met somebody that I couldn't even talk to. I mean, I'm like one of my favorite musicians. I met her, and I just went like, no words. What's hard to wrap your head around is being at the center of it. It's sort of like you just want to go, no, stop, wake up, it's fine. I'm exactly like you. The reason you're a fan is we're the same. Do you know what I mean? It's like, so that is strange, but I understand because she couldn't have told me to snap out of it.
Late one night on set, it was like, oh, we're wrapped, but we're wrapped.
Like the wolves wrapped the whole movie, and so we finished this whole. Our bit was such an anticlimax. It was the end of a week of night shoots, but they had the last day the next day. So we just finished, and they're like, well, that's a wrap on these guys, and we're like,
yeah.
No one clapped.
I'm not to the point where I'm like, you know, but it's kind of weird watching yourself. It's really, really suspenseful. You never know really what's gonna happen.
Yeah, I mean, but like a guy, it's supposed to be about that. I mean, it's like a guy shouldn't have that much of a say in what happens in their wedding. It's kind of ridiculous. You should just be happy if your wife's happy.
Oh yeah. Pittsburgh was fun too. Pittsburgh was like real, not a city, but just like a town. Like living in an American town. It was kind of cool. I liked it.
She's the baby is a sort of halfling type of creature.
That's okay, right?
I hope.
I mean, yeah, definitely. I'm definitely having more fun with it. I think it's funny, like, what people think on the outside. I would never let anybody put anything on me. But like, I totally get how I'm much more comfortable with my dress choices now. I sort of feel like, I don't know, I feel like it's actually like I'm wearing clothes that I would wear and not like I'm wearing weird, like, things to events that like function as clothing, which usually, if I don't like what I'm wearing, you totally know it. It's like all over me, so I like have to make sure I do it.
It's funny little things that you can't have a certain noise with a certain movement and stuff. Like, it's crazy. Like
I mean, I'm sure by the end of it, I mean, I've never worked on something for that long, and I mean, the thing about that though is, by the end of the movie, I usually feel like I don't want to let it go anyway. So this will just be. I mean,
so I would think that you would be happy.
No, I mean, I only read them after the audition, just because I liked personality casting, and I wanted to do it afterwards. So I just read them, and then you sent this really kissing email to Kat.
Project that sex scene onto that book. I mean, reading it, you imagine it, and so we had to give some version of it. But what was scary is that we didn't have a specific outline. Usually, it's stay true to the book, stay true to the book, and this was like, well. This is our interpretation.
I remember very obscure things. I'm trying to think of a really nice, like special moment, and all I can think of are the weird ones.
It's sort of something that we're not supposed to talk about, but where they break them up is really natural, smart. It makes sense. It's almost like they were two, and now it's hard for me to remember like them being together. You know what I mean?
And the first one as well. We haven't like. Because the first one is based on a smaller section of the book than the second one is, it's quite nice to kind of, you know, it gave the opportunity to concentrate on more intricate relationships and stuff.
Just having the whole experience be closed was a very, very satisfying experience. I was really able to like wallow in it and appreciate it for real. Like seeing everybody sitting in attendance at my wedding was actually pretty cool.
Comic-Con is more fun than the general crowd because, like, generally you're being pulled in all directions at the same time, so you have all the energy there, and then someone's pushing on you, or generally like at a premiere or something, you're signing something, and then I don't know, it's always time limits all the time, but you can kind of feel which way the audience is going on this.
It's rare to be able to actually see everyone together and able to be excited and be themselves and not have to censor themselves, and it can be nice to meet your fans. It's hard to specify, like. But when people start crying in front of you, it is like, you sort of want, it's not naturally you want to like, help them out, but it's actually kind of a good thing that they're experiencing.
I haven't really done anything else but like take pictures and talk to people, so it's fun. It's nothing, you know, it's nothing too pretentious, which I thought it might have been, but it's awesome. Everyone's really cool.
Yeah, I kind of, I don't know, I got really into going to the gym for about 3 weeks, and then I had to have my shirt off for about 2 weeks, and then I didn't ever go to the gym again.
That's sympathetic. That's actually nice.
It was fun when I was going. I got really obsessed with it for a while, but then I realized that once you start going to the gym, it's the only thing you talk about to anybody, and you never want to go out because you're too tired all the time and you can't drink, and you know, you just go, oh, I'm just gonna go for a run again. I mean, and also you have so many endorphins that you don't even care about anything. It's like being a drug addict. It's so weird.
So no gym anymore. That's good.
Never again.
Well, Ed.
I mean, how similar are they? They're sort of the same. It's funny. It's a 500-page book condensed into like an hour and a half, or whatever the movie is. But there's nothing from the book, and I care about the book just as much as the rabid fans. That I feel like we didn't get to experience that, and I'm really disappointed. It really is like all of the iconic scenes are in the movie, and the essence and the feeling is really, I mean, I think there.
Right.
It has to be up, guys. Yeah, but there's a big sequence in the movie in Brazil where, for whatever reason, because you're supposed to sparkle, right? And
Well, if you go out in bright sunlight during the day, you sparkle.
you start sparkling, yeah, like a My Little Pony. But for whatever reason in Brazil, because Brazil was, you know, it was obviously very sunny, and I could not explain to you why I'm not sparkling the entire time. It's a sort of glaring continuity error.
But, well, maybe you're anemic.
I wish that I've definitely relaxed because I've like sort of just relinquished control. I really just don't. There's nothing I can do, but like, you know, be who I am or whatever. And it just used to freak me out. I wish I could tell myself to just like calm down. But that's it.
That's the same thing. Yeah, they kind of. So there's a shot which looks like I have an extremely elongated back because they've airbrushed out the top of my crack.
Is that right?
Yeah, so
amazing.
It's really crazy.
With time,
I didn't at all, which was great because Bill was very much there to. He had me, you know. It was like I didn't have to feel like I was responsible for everything. A lot of times you sort of start to just tailspin when you're like, you know, when you take on too much. I so know her as well. It's sort of like I really forced myself to like just be there. It's because I've talked a lot about like what I think of her and blah blah blah. It's just that it's something so different in this version. They find themselves like they never have. I mean, they're happy. I mean, only when you can like be relaxed and sit back and not confused can you like see. You know what I mean? And I feel like they all open their eyes for the first time in this movie, and you need to be in a pretty centered place to do that for real. And I felt like I was there because of everyone, because of how comfortable I was with Rob and Taylor.
I'm the first line's like, I'm not begging, all right? I don't care. But I don't know, it went on for ages. No, I just kind of planned out. I was just sort of saying how I'd like to play the part, and the ways in which I want to play it. Yeah, I didn't really know that. I was living in England, so it wasn't really.
Everybody was so intimidated by him. It was so weird. He's like,
Yeah.
yeah. The director Jake Scott, who's like, I mean, I love the guy. He's incredible. He told us to basically try to have the dynamic that Mowgli and Baloo have in the Jungle Book. So
really sweet.
Yeah. So like, if you imagine him being that and then being intimidated by him, it really doesn't really go.
But you had to look at
Actually, no. My favourite moment from the whole thing was actually on the first one, before anyone really knew what was going on. And someone was waiting. We were doing the last bit of the shoot, and there were these people who were waiting outside the perimeter of the set in the desert. And this one woman handed her baby, who was like 3 months old, to an AD to meet us. I mean, but the AD didn't really know what to do with it, so he was like thinking, like, I think she wants you to sign her baby or something. And so like taking it to each of them, and everyone's like, I want to sign the baby. And oh no, she wanted pictures with the baby. Yeah. And I didn't really understand the reality of the situation at that point, that anyone would actually see this picture. And so I was like, there's a picture somewhere on the internet of me biting this baby.
You bit the baby?
Yeah.
That's so weird.
I didn't actually like touch it, so like, it's kind of a funny picture. The baby's so young, his entire head fits in my mouth.
I'm sure that's not true.
If you look at the picture.
Well, it doesn't feel like the beginning. I mean, it feels only because I came into this thing not knowing it was going to put me where I am now. But in my life, like what really matters to me, I started that process when I was like 9. And that's crazy to think about. It's the most extended, concentrated period of my life that I can remember as a whole. And more so than high school, more so than anything like that, it was like Twilight. And I so like looking back there. And I'm ready to walk away. It's just that, you know, I do like, I feel the light. And I still feel like if I look back, it's not dark.
And there's...
Funny. That's the only time I Google it, just in case I've said something embarrassing. I've done it a couple of times on this when I suddenly realized, and if you do a ton of interviews in a row, you eventually get to the point where you just start speaking complete nonsense and you have no control over your brain to mouth function. And so you go to check sometimes after, going like, did I just say like what I think I said? But I don't know. I was talking a lot, people talk to me a lot about Twilight sex toys and stuff, and I started like saying things about that, and I don't know, like, I mean, the stupid ideas.